Okay, guys. Um, Welcome to this little tutorial that I have set up for you. And the purpose of this video is to help everybody make it through the Capstone project successfully for the Access 2013 part of this course. So hopefully what you have in front of you, you've got this YouTube video running on your phone, and you got your computer going, or you're at your computer. You've logged into our course on eLearn. You're going to click on the Access 2013 Tutorial Capstone Project link, and it will take you out to the SAM Learning site and bring you to a page where it's going to ask you to download a number of files. And of course, the first file that you need to download and have ready and ready to go is the instruction file. You need to go ahead and print that off. So what you're going to have is your cell phone or iPad, probably your cell phone looking at the YouTube video, then you've got your laptop or your computer set up, and then you've got the instructions. Okay? Uh-oh. I don't want that. Okay, sorry about that. I touched something. But anyway, all right, so the next thing is, once you download the instructions, then you're gonna download all the other files that you need in order to do the project. So you're gonna first download the Access data file database that you're gonna work in. It should download and name it as with your first name and last name, and then the underscore and the number 1. That's how it's going to download. So before you do anything else, go find the file, and you're going to want to rename it. It opened it. It's okay. I'm going to close this for a moment. Don't want that. I want to rename the file, so you can just kind of highlight it and click on it. And you want to make sure you change that from a 1 to a 2, so that when you submit it to SAM, it will pick it up. If you leave it as a 1, you won't be able to submit it. So just remember, you got to change your file name from _1 to _2. Then you're going to make sure you have all the rest of the files downloaded onto your computer somewhere where you can find them. You've got an Excel spreadsheet, you've got another Microsoft Access database, and then you have 2 text files, 1 practice and 1 Teams. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and open up your Access database with your name. Okay, go ahead and enable the content. You want to make sure you want to open up the grading info table and make sure that your first name and last name appears here. Okay, it's not doing it for me because I'm an instructor, but it should have already preloaded your first name and last name, and you should be all set. All right, so now we're getting ready to do the project steps. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the coaches table by double clicking on it. And you want to be in the design view for this one. And then it's asking you to make the following changes. So the first thing you want to do is you want to move the group ID field to follow the coach ID. So you just grab it and drag it up and move it underneath coach ID. The next thing it wants you to do is it wants you to delete the certification field. If you highlight that field and then hit the delete key, it should come up with a dialog box that asks you, do you want to delete that field? You go ahead and click on yes. So that was pretty simple. You just highlight the field, hit the delete key on your keyboard, and then go ahead and click yes. All right. We want to save our table. That's the next step in the thing, in the steps. So click on save. Then you want to switch your views for your table. Come over here and you want to go to your data sheet view. And now it's asking you to enter the records that are shown in table 1 below into the coaches table and then close the table. All right, so let's go ahead and enter those new records as indicated in table 1. You just tab over to add the next record. I'm going too fast. You can always just pause the video and catch up. Buckingham. And then tab 12/31/2017 and 12/31/2017. And then the next one is going to be 901 tab BISI1, and it's Whitney Long, 12/31/2017 and 12/31/2017. All right, so we've done that. I would just go ahead and save it and then close the table. All right, we're at the next one at number 3. So we're going to create a new table. I can't see this. Hold on. Oops. Wait a minute, guys. I want to move this down so I can see it. All right, now. Come on down. Oops, hold on. I want it right about there. All right, okay. So now I want to create a new table. And we're going to, it wants us to be in data sheet view, which we're in. It wants us to go ahead and save the table as athlete. So let's go ahead and save it. We're going to call this athlete. That's the name of the table. Awesome. And then we're going to make the following changes. So the first thing it wants us to do is to change the field type or the data type of the ID field. And so we're going to make that short. We're going to come over here. All right, guys, let me slow down. All right, so first of all, you have to select the field by clicking on the field name. When you do that, the table tools information pops up. You want to be on the Fields tab, and then you're going to select short text as it indicates in your instructions. All right. And then you want to change the field name to Athlete ID. So if you now go to and put your cursor over the word ID and right click, it brings you up with this quick menu. Go ahead and go to rename field. And now you should just be able to type in Athlete ID. Now guys, remember that it's very important that you pay attention to the instructions and you type it in exactly as it's written, all right? So now we're gonna add several more fields. We're going to click to add this one. The next field is going to be team ID. Please do it exactly as is written. The next one is going to be first name. So that means your capitalization needs to be the same. I noticed I capitalized the F and the N. The next field is going to be last name. All of these are going to be short text. That's the data type. The next field after last name is, sorry about that, is address. Okay, then it's gonna be city. And then it's gonna be state. And then it's gonna be the zip code, right? And then the next field is gonna be group ID. And the last one is going to be gender. All right, so we've completed that. You want to go ahead and save your table again. So click on save. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the design view. Hold on, I'm going to make sure of something here. Excuse me. Let's make sure my stuff is turned down. Okay, so then you want to go, you're going to switch your views and go over here to design view. All right, and then you're going to set the field properties as they're shown in table 2. Got to remember that your athlete ID field should be set as the primary key, and you know that's the case because you got the little key next in this part of the data sheet, the design view. Alrighty, so go ahead and put in the information as is indicated in the table. So for the athletes field, we're going to change the field size to 5, and we're going to put the caption as the athlete ID. The next one, team ID, is going to be a foreign key. Do you remember what that means? It's going to show up in another key as a primary key, another table as a primary key. This one is the number 4, and the caption is team ID. Alrighty. First name, it's 20 is the size of the field, and you're going to put the caption in as first name. All right. Last name is 30, and the caption ID is last name. All right. Okay, the address, there's no caption ID for this one. It's just 35 is the field size. The city is 35 for the field size. State is going to be 2. And then you're going to put the default value of WAN for Washington State. And then we're going to come on down. Your zip is field size of 10. The group ID, you need to put the description in. It's another foreign key. And if you remember, that means that it's going to show up as a primary key in another table. Then you're going to put this one as group ID. Notice the space under the, whoops, I didn't spell that correctly. The field name says group ID. The caption has a space in it. Just so you, again, guys, you got to be very, you have to be very careful and actually, I mean, whatever it says do, if it's a space or not a space, if it's a capital letter, not a capital letter, you got to make sure that it's correct. And that's why you have to take your time when you're building database and doing the entries. Because if, again, you make a mistake, then later on down the line, it may not, the relationship tables may not work as you intend them to because it can't find the field and all that good stuff. So you just take your time and make sure that the field names, the captions, all of that stuff is as it should be. Alrighty, so now what you're going to do, they ask you to add a new field to the table after the zip field. So what you want to do is highlight the group ID field because you want to insert a row above it. All right. So again, I highlighted the group ID and I did insert row from the Table Tools Design tab. All righty. And so this is where I'm going to put my birth date. Again, no spaces between birth and date. This is going to be, I'm going to select this as a date time. Data type. I'm going to come down here under format, and it told me that I want to select a short date as the format. And underneath the caption is going to be birth date, 2 words. All righty. The next thing I want to do, this asking me to do, I want to move the group ID field so that it follows the athlete's ID field. So I'm going to move this little puppy up, and I'm going to move it so that it follows the athlete ID field. Now I'm going to save this table, and I'm going to close it. All right. Now we're on to step 7. We're going to import an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to use the import spreadsheet wizard to bring in the data from the athlete table. All right, and to append it to our athletes table. So in order to do that, right now we shouldn't have any tables open. I'm going to go ahead and close this too. All right, no tables are open or anything. So if I go to external data, I want to come under the import and link grouping because it's asking me to bring in data. So I want to import. I'm going to import an Excel spreadsheet. So it brings up the Excel spreadsheet wizard. I want to go and browse and find my athlete's spreadsheet. There it is. I'm going to open it. It tells me that I want to append it to the athlete's table. Because if you remember, we did not have any data in the athletes table. Click on OK. And I'm going to leave it. I want the athlete table out of that spreadsheet. I'm going to click on Next. And then I'm going to click on Next. And I want to import it to the athlete table. I'm going to click on Finish. I do not want to save the import steps, so I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to leave it so it imported it. So now, if I open up my athlete table, now I have data in it, okay? And it told me to open it up. I'm now in the data sheet view, of course. I'm in the data sheet view, and I'm on 7D. And it's telling me to open up the athlete table in datasheet view and then resize each column to best fit the data it contains. There are a couple of ways to do this, but the easiest way to do it is if you just bring your cursor up to the line in between both field names. See how it changes? The cursor changed to, the arrows in both directions. If you double click, it will automatically resize for best fit. So I'm coming over here to ID. See how my cursor changed up here? It's now the black multi-directional arrow. If I double click on it, see how my columns resize themselves to best fit. Okay, now this you can really tell it in address. I'm moving my cursor to this line in between address and city. See how it changed? It's the black line now. When I double click on it, see it moved it. So now that you can see the entire address. Do that for city, between city and state. I'm gonna do it for state and it should make it smaller. Zip code makes it smaller, and then birth date, and then gender makes it smaller. Okay? All right, so that's the best fit. All righty. It tells me now to save this little puppy and close it. All right? So next, we're gonna go out and import an Access database. That's step 8. All right? So we're gonna go and do external data. We are going to import an Access database. Okay, I'm gonna go and browse for that database, and it is NWS. It's the second one here. So I'm gonna open it. I want to import a table, the team table from this database. So I'm gonna click OK. The only table in there is the team table, but I do have to select it. So I select it, click OK, and it tells me that was imported successfully and I can close it. And now, notice that I now have the team table added to my objects over here. So I want to open up my team table, and then I need to update in the design view. I'm going to go to the design view now, and I want to update the field properties as shown in table 3 below. See it where down below it says, down below step 9, you see the table 3 team table information. So I'm going to put in the description, this is my primary key. The field size for the team ID is 4. And then the caption ID is going to be team ID, right? My next one is team name, and no description, but the field size is 50. And my caption is going to be team name. All right. Now, important note here, if you notice on number 9, it says open the team table in design view, which is what we've done, and then update the field properties shown in table 3 below, which we did. Save and close the team table after you finish updating the field properties, but you got to make sure it has a hint here. The team ID field should be the primary key for the table. So what you need to do is click on this field name, click on the box next to the field name and come up here and designate that field as the selected field as the primary key. So you got to make sure you got your little key here before you save and close, okay? So now you're ready to save this table and close it. Okay, perfect. Now we're on to number 10. So Julia has exported her existing team data to a text file, and she wants you to add it to the team table. So basically, we're going to go over here to external data again. We're still importing data So you want to be in the import and link group, not the export group. We're gonna get a text file this time. It's called Teams. So there's the Teams text file. Go ahead and open it. They want us to append the data or the records to the team table that we created, right? And we're going to click on OK. We want to leave it as delimited, which means that the characters, the commas, are going to separate the fields. And we're going to use the comma as the delimiter. So when we click on Next, we're going to leave that highlighted as the comma. And we're going to import the data into the team table as it shows right here. We click on Finish. We don't want to save our import step, so we just close it. So when we open up the team table and it opens up in our datasheet view, which is in right now, right? We then want to, according to step 10D, we opened up the team table and then we want to resize the columns to best fit the data they contain. So just remember, all you got to do, guys, is double click on the column and make sure that it's sized properly. That's all we're doing to the team table. So we're going to save this little puppy and we're going to close it. Now we're on to number 11. So we're going to create a new table in the design view and then set the field properties shown in table 4. The group ID field should be the primary key for the table, and we're going to save it as the practice table. All right, so we're going to create another table. And we're going to do it in design view. Call it practice, right? And this is going to be the group ID, right? It's going to be short text, primary key for the description, and field size is going to be 4, and the caption is group ID. Right? The next one, we're in design view. We're going to call this group name. Got to spell correctly. Short text. No description. It's going to be 30. And the caption is group base name. All right. The next one is going to be monthly fee, right? It's an O, not a P. It's currency. You want to change the number of decimal places, guys, from auto. You're going to go over here on this little down arrow and click 0. And then you're going to put in the caption of monthly fee. Cool? Alrighty. And then the last one is going to be the registration fee. It's going to be currency. And we're going to change this to a 0 for the number of decimal places. And it is registration fee. Okay? And that's it. So make sure the group ID is the primary, which it is. We're just confirming that. And we're going to save this little puppy and we're going to close it. All right? Now we're ready to get your the data for the practice. So we're going to import another text file, right? We're going to go and get it. It's going to be the practice text file. We're going to append it to what? Append it to, I'm on 12B. Select the option to append a copy of the records to the practice table. Okay. We're on to step C. We want to leave it at delimited by a comma. So we're going to go next. Should be delimited by the comma. Then we're going to import it into the practice table, which is correct, and do finish. Perfect. We don't want to save our steps. And then when we open the practice table, we have the columns already set. Then they want us to do, according to 12D, we want to do the best fit for each column. There you go. And then we're going to save and close the table. Now, we want to now do our relationship stuff, okay? So we're at number 13. So we're going to go to database tools, and they want us to add these tables in a particular order. So we're going to go to relationships, and when we click on relationships, it automatically brings up the show table dialog box. So we're going to first add coach. Then we're going to add practice. Then we're going to add athlete. And then team. Okay, so then in that order, it's going to be coach, practice, athlete, and team. All right, it told us to then resize the field list. I'm on number 13. Resize the field list for the athlete table so all the fields are visible in the fields list. So we're going to resize the fields list so we can see all of the fields. All right, so the first thing they want us to do is they want us, this is 13A. So we're going to do a one-to-many relationship between the primary practice table and the related coach table using the group ID field. So what you want to do is you want to grab the group, you want to put your cursor on group ID, highlight it, and then drag it until your pointer is over the group ID here. And then it brings up your dialog box. And it should say group ID to group ID, practice to coach. You want to enforce the referential integrity and cascade, cascade update related fields. Okay, and you're going to create it. So that's the first one. Now we're on to B. Define a one-to-many relationship between the primary practice table and the related athlete table using the group ID. So again, we're going to highlight group ID on the athletes table, and we're going to drag and I'm going to do that. Okay, I did that right. So we're going to go from practice. So we're going to grab from between the primary and the related table. So we're going to bring it here. And it should be group ID to group ID, enforce, create. Okay. So this one is from here to here. This one's from group ID to this group ID, which is great. And then the final one is you're going to do it between the primary team table and the related athlete table using the team ID. So you're gonna drag. Okay, guys. And let me just say this. One of the key things to remember, and when we did this the first time, we went from the practice table to the related coach table because we were relating this primary key to this foreign key over here in this table. So that's why we dragged from here. Oh, shoot. That's why we went from here to here. In this case, the group ID is the primary key. So we are relating this primary key to this foreign key over here on this table. So we went from here to here. In this final one, we're gonna take the primary key from here because it's a primary in the team table, and we're gonna drag it over to the team ID here. We're gonna enforce it, leave it one to many, and create. And I think we should be all set. There we go. And so it should match. Once you're finished, all your little symbols and stuff should match your relationships as shown in figure 1. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and save this little puppy and close it. Okay. All right, we're on to number 14. We only got about 100 more to go. No, I'm just playing. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're on to number 14. So we're going to use a simple query to create a query based on the athletes table. So let's go to create. We're going to use the query wizard. You want to do a simple query. You want to base this on the athletes table. It said include all fields in the query. You want to go next. You want to name this athletes younger than 2008. Okay, and we're gonna finish it. Alrighty, so it brought up all the information in using that table first. So now we're gonna add some conditions to the table and kind of bring it down some. So we're gonna add a condition to the birth date. And it says you want it to select records for athletes who were born on or after 1/1/2008. So I right-clicked on the down arrow next to the birth date field name. I'll go to date filters. I want to go to after. And then it's going to be birth date is on or after 1/1/2008. I click OK. And now it's only brought those people whose birthday is after that date. Then I want to sort my records in ascending order by last name. So if I come to last name on the down arrow, I want to put them in ascending order, which would mean A to Z is ascending. And so I clicked on A to Z to sort by last name. Then I want to change the birth date field so it remains in the query design but does not appear in the query results. So the way that I know to do that, hopefully this is going to be correct, we go to design view. And if I scroll over and I unclick the box show. and then I run my query, and it's no longer there. Okay. And then I've saved it. I'll save that little puppy, and then I'm gonna close it. Okay. So it should be, your birth dates are no longer there. All right, let's close that again. All right, now we're going to create a new query in design view that is based on the practice and athlete tables. Okay, so let's get this going. We're going to create a design, a query in design view. All right. That's based on the practice. I'm going to add the practice table, and I'm going to add the athletes table. Okay. So in the first field, I'm going to add the group name from the practice table. Cool. And then I'm going to add the first name, last name, birth date, and gender. Okay. And then complete the following task in the data view. So let me first save it. I'm going to save the query. Let's save it as groups and athletes. I saved it. Alrighty. Then I'm going to run the little puppy. And there it is. I now have my query and it's run. Then I have to complete I'm on number 15, guys. So I saved the query as groups and athletes. I ran the query, and then I'm going to complete the following task in datasheet view. So I'm going to first sort the records by birth date, so the oldest athletes are listed first. So I'm going to come here on my down arrow. I'm going to sort oldest to newest. Okay. Alrighty. And then I'm going to use the filter by selection to select only those athletes who swim for any senior group. So I'm going to go to the group name. I'm going to go to text filters, and I'm going to select begins with because it gave me a hint. And then I'm going to say begins with senior, right? That's what it told me. Hint, use the begins with senior option. I'll click OK. And now I've only got my folks that are in the senior group. And so I'm going to save this puppy and I'm going to close it. I'm done with that. All right, we're going to create another query in design view that is based on the coach and practice tables. So let's go ahead and create another one. We're going to create it. We're going to do coach and practice. Okay. Table. Okay, we're going to add the group name, right? Then we're going to add coach first. Then coach last, then BCGC experience or whatever, and then this is going to be certification expiration. Oh, those are expirations, aren't they? We're going to add those fields in that order. And then we're going to save the query. This one is going to be called COACH, capital BGC, expirations. Okay. Cool breeze. We're going to add a condition to the BGC EXP field to select records with dates that occur on or before 12/31. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do on or before. I believe I want this to be on or before. I think it's going to be less than or equal to 12/31/2016. Okay, so that's what I want my criteria to be, so that it's going to select those records with dates that are on 12/31 or before. So that would be less than. Alrighty. Let's save this puppy and then run it. And hopefully it'll bring up the right people. Yay! Okay, on or before. Awesome. So that's that one. Now we've done that, so now we can close it. Now we're on to number 17, guys. You with me? So we're gonna do number 17. So now remember, this is your navigation pane over here. So it's telling us in the navigation pane, copy this query. So if you right click on it, copy, and then come down and anywhere below it and hit paste, it's going to make a copy of that query. And this one's going to be called, guys, we're in number 17, so it's Coach (2016) certification expirations, right? Okay, so we're going to click OK. Coach 2016 certification expirations. We're going to click OK. It created. So now we're going to go ahead and open that one. And then we're going to change the query design to select a record that occurs on or before and that contains a certification expiration date on or before. So hint, this query should only return records that meet both of the query conditions. So let's go to, I'm gonna go to the design view again. I like it that way. So now we want it to also have this same criteria for certification expiration. So that's less than or equal to, right? 12/31/2016. Go ahead and save it and then run it. And it should bring back two people that fall into that category. It's, in this case, it's and. All right. So now we're done with that one. Save it and we can close it. Alrighty. So now we want to do this copy again. So we're going to copy this 2016 expiration one and we're going to paste it. It's going to bring us up and we're going to rename this Coach 2016 BGC or certification expiration. So in this one, in this query, what you want to be able to do is, remember in this one it was and, this one is going to be or. So let's go open up, make sure you got the right one open. So it's BGC or certification expirations. Let's go to the design view. And instead of having the certification criteria, the criteria here, you want it to be in the or. So you want it to be either this criteria or this criteria. Okay? So now we're going to say less than or equal to 12/31/2016. We should be able to save it, run it, and then it brings up the other query. Okay, guys? There you go. So that's number 18. Save it and close. Alrighty. Now we're on number 19. So now we're going to do another query. We're going to do it using the design view. We're going to base it on athlete table and the practice table. Cool. We're going to add a group name. Add the group name. And we're going to add the first name. Last name. We're going to add the monthly fee, right? So we should have the group name, first name, last name, monthly fee. And we're going to save this query and we're going to save it. And it's going to be called annual dues by athlete. Okay. All right. Run the query. We're going to run it. All right, there we go. We got the monthly fee. So we have the group name, first name, last name, and monthly fee. All right. Oh, goodness. I'm about to turn over the laptop. Okay. Hold on, guys. I had to regroup. I had to move around. Okay. All righty. So let's go back to our design view for a minute. I like it like that, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go to design view because that's what it says do. And then we're going to actually add a calculated field name, annual dues. And the way you're going to do that is if you come here, over here, we're going to add another field. You want to click in the box, and then you want to come up here in the query setup area and click on, this is called a, it's like an expression builder. So it's going to help us build this expression that it tells us to do in 19A. So it says we're going to create a calculated field named annual dues in the 5th column of the design grid that determines the total annual cost of swimming dues for each athlete. So the expression should multiply the monthly dues amount by 12 months. So basically, what we're going to do is we want to take the monthly fee in order to get the calculators, the operator values. You click on operators. We want to do times. So we're going to double click on the asterisk to multiply. We're going to put times 12 because that's how many months it told us to do. And then we're going to click on OK. All right. And then over here, you should be able to see, if you don't see the property sheet view here for this field, if you come over here under the show hide group and click on property sheet, it'll show it. So if you click on it, if it's not showing, it will show it. And then you can come over here and put annual dues for the caption. All right. And we want to save and run the query. And see, guys, now we put our annual dues here. You want to resize it, so come over here because you want to do the best fit. We're on 19B. And there you have it. We've got our calculated annual dues. All righty. So next thing, we're on 19C. You want to go to the bottom and you want to click on it. Well, if you scroll down, because this way you'll be able to see it, you want to add a totals row, and to do that, you click on, in the records, you click on a totals, and it creates a new row for the for totals. And guys, this is so that it automatically will calculate it. So if you click in this box, it's going to give you some options. So the first thing it wants you to do is it wants you to use a function to calculate the average monthly fee. So we're going to click on average, and it's going to give us the average cost of the monthly fee in this total row. And the next thing it wanted us to do is it wants us to total the annual dues that are collected from each individual. So if you click in this box and then click on the down arrow and click on sum for total, it's going to give us the total annual dues. That's it. Save it. Close. Okay, you guys can take a break. I can't because I want to keep going. We're almost done. We're on step number 20. Okay, so now we're going to use the form wizard, which is over here, to create a form based on the practice table. So we're going to click on the form wizard. We want it based on the practice table. Okay. And you want to include, it tells us to include all the fields in the form. So if we want to include all the fields, we're going to click on the double arrows and it will move all the fields over. We're going to go to next. We're going to use a columnar layout. And then we're going to name the form practice groups. Guys, this is step 20. All righty, so we're finished. And there's our form. So now it's telling it wants us to make the following changes to the form. I think it's best to go into the layout view in order to make these changes. So I'm changing it to the layout view. I don't know if it's, So if we're gonna do the first thing where it says change the form title, so what you do is if you double click on it, it will highlight it, and then it just wants us to put a space. And then it wants us to change the font color. If you go to Format, see up here in the Form Layout Tools, if you click on, with it highlighted, if you click on Format, then it brings up the font grouping, and then you can just go ahead and change the color. It wants us to pick the dark blue under Standard, which would be the fourth column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be dark blue. And we've completed step 20A. All right, and then does it tell us to save it yet? No. All right, now for 20B, you want to go back home. You want to click on home. You want to change the view to form view. Okay. And now it's telling us that we're now in the form view where we can actually enter in information for the form. So it's telling us we want to get a new record and place it in the practice table. So one way to do that is to come down here to in your navigation bar, and with the little where it has a little star, we can say new record, and it brings up a totally new record for us to type into. So according to 20B, we're going to call this fish. I tap down. The group name is lowercase fish. The cost is, the monthly fee is $95, and the registration fee is $50. And that's it, guys. You can come out of there, tab it. We're going to save this little puppy, and we're going to close it. So now we've got one form down here called practice groups. All right, number 21. We're going to create a form and a form within a form. So we're going to go to create. We're going to use the form wizard. All right. The main form is going to be from the practice table. And it wants us to pick all of the fields. All right. Select all the fields. I guess that's fine. And then this is going to be groups with athletes. All right, so that's the main form. All righty. Now, for the subform, we're going to go to design, and we're going to select a subform, and we'll come down here, and we're going to create a subform. I'm going to put it, oh shoot, where did it go? Oh, y'all, wait a minute. It didn't do right. Let me get rid of it. Come on. Why is it doing that? Oh no. No, 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 no. Come on. Hold on, guys. Why is it doing that? Darn it. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Maybe we're in the wrong view, guys. Hold on. Wait. Let's see. Okay. Sorry about that. I was in the wrong view. So you have to be in design view. My bad, my bad, my bad. I'm so sorry. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay, got a little ahead of myself. Okay, so we're gonna use existing tables and queries. So this one we're gonna get the athletes table. Okay, so we want the athletes table and we only want the athlete ID, the first name, and the last name. Okay, those are the only fields that you want. We're gonna go to next. We want it to view the data by practice, which is great. Show athlete. Choose the option to view the data by practice. Okay. Alrighty. And then this one is going to be called the athlete subform. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, my good people. All right. There's my form. Woohoo. I know. All righty. Now we got to change the titles on the forms themselves. I'm going to change it to layout view. We're going to change the title. We're going to put spaces here. And put a space and change the caps. We're going to go to format. It wants us to change this to dark blue. All right. Again. Perfect. All right, guys. Now we've got to, I think that's everything. I'm on G now. So they want us to, I'm going to move this over. Let me see if I can move it over. I'm going to move this over here. I want to move because I want it to look kind of like that. I'm going to get rid of this subform here. Okay. And then I'm going to actually move this over if I can. I'm going to move it over here. And then I'm going to resize it so that it looks more like what's on that bottom page there. Let's see. My last name, I'm going to fit my columns. And see, this is like a subform. So you're going to do your best fit for your columns. And that kind of looks like that, doesn't it? If we can make it a little bigger. make it a little bigger. Okay, I think that's it. Alrighty. Okay, so that kind of looks like that, doesn't it? I think that's good enough. So that's number G, where we had to resize the width of the subform as shown in figure 2 below. So let me make this a little, there we go. So it's not so big. How about that? That looks pretty good. Oh, shoot. Okay. There we go. Now that's better. Alrighty. So now we're on 21H. So they wanted us to go and review the records and make sure they're all there. Look good, look good. Great, great, great. No problem. Wonderful thing. And then, if necessary, resize the data sheet columns so it's fully visible. So we're okay. Let me see. Let me if I go to view and design view. Oops. Yes. Let's see how this works. Can I move this down? Oh, no. Oh, don't do that. Let's just leave it as it is, I guess. I guess that's good enough. I wonder if I can bring this down. There we go. Here I am. So, yeah, I should be able to bring that down some more. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks a little better. How's that? So I went over into the design view again, and I moved my, gave me more room on my layout by moving this up and down, see? Okay. All right, guys, we're ready to now save this little puppy. Uh-oh. Yes, I want to save it. And then I can close it. All righty. Now we're on to step number 22. We are almost done, guys. Just hang in there. All right, so we're going to use the report wizard to create a report. So we go to create tab. We're going to report wizard. We're going to select the create a report based on the primary practice table. And the related athlete table. So we're going to select the group name, the monthly fee, and the registration fee from the primary table. And then we're going to go to the athletes table, and we're going to pick the team ID, first name, last name, birth date, and gender. Okay. And we're going to do it, view the data by practice, which is great. And we're going to sort the detail records in ascending order. We're not going to do anything with the grouping. We're going to leave that the same. We're going to sort this by team ID in this ascending order, which is great. We're going to use the outline and do portrait. And then we're going to call this athlete listing, I think. Okay, guys, here we go. There's our report. Woohoo. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to close the print preview. And it's going to bring us now to our report design tools up here. So from the design tab, we're going to pick the theme. It says apply the slice theme, which is this one. Alrighty. And then we're going to change the report title for athlete listing report to athlete listing. So it's 2 words. Perfect. Now, it wants us to, in these next, from 24A, B, C, it wants us to resize everything. So, it first wants us to resize the group name, monthly fee, and registration fee field label boxes, decreasing their width so that the field value boxes are as wide as necessary. So we're gonna first, oops, I didn't mean to, okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to first make these only as large as they need to be. Okay, this is for that. Cool. All right, and then we're going to resize the monthly fee and registration fee field value boxes so that the field value are as wide as the values they contain. So we're going to minimize this. And whoops, they moved it, so I'm going to undo that. And we're going to minimize this. All right. Alrighty. We're going to resize the last name column on its right size as wide as the value it contains. You know what we might need to do? Let's see. So resize the last name column here or here. Here. I don't know. I'm going to just resize it for now. And then resize the gender field on its right size to increase the width so the column heading is completely, okay. All right. Okay. And scroll to the bottom of the report and resize the control that contains the page number on the right size to decrease its width so that it's only as wide as the page 1 value contained. Use an arrow key to move the page number control so that it's right edge. So I'm gonna move this right edge over here. Oops, no, don't do that. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Wait a minute. Can I get it? I'm gonna move the right edge over here. Okay. And the right size. And so that this right edge aligns with the right edge of the gender column in the report. I'm good with that. All right, now, if we look at this, let's see if let me save this. Save. I want to view it in report view. Let's see if it's looking pretty decent. Yeah. Registration fee. Let's see if we home. We go to design view. Bronze. Did we have to change the group name? Yeah, I didn't do that. Let me move this, close this a little bit. And then, why is the birth date sticking way over there? Can I go to the left? Make this left. Okay. Shown in preview 3. And then next to the left. Let's make it left. And then make this left. Did I do that right, guys? Alrighty. I think that's it. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see what the page numbers look like. I think my names are not long enough, so I'm gonna go back and change them. I'm gonna leave this kind of long. All right. Developmental group. That's the longest name. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think so. All right, let's save this little puppy. All right, the final thing that we're gonna do is number 25, and we're gonna need to do the conditional formatting. You need to be in the layout view for that. You wanna go to format and click on conditional formatting. And so you're gonna add the condition. So you wanna do a new rule, and you want it to be, less than or equal to, because it says you want to format the birth dates that are equal to or earlier than 12/31 to be bold and red. So, did I pick the, oops, cancel. You want to show the format, you want to do it for birthday, guys, sorry. Yes, continue in this regard. All right. So before you pick the rule, you got to pick what column or which field is going to be formatted. Sorry about that. So you're going to pick birth date, pick new rule. You want less than or equal to, and then we're going to put in the date, 31/2005. We want to bold it, and we want to make it red, right? Isn't that what that said? Second column, last row, red. Perfect. We're going to say okay. So now that's what our rule is. The value is going to be less than or equal to 12/31. We're going to apply that little puppy. I'm going to click OK. And now it has created the dates for those folks whose birthdays are on or before 12/31/2005. Alrighty. So you want to display the report in print preview, which we've done. Let's print preview it. Okay. And then you can use your key, your things. It should be 5 pages. There you go. Perfect. And then you want to save it and close it. All right, guys. And then the final thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you want to save and close any open objects in your database. We don't have any that are open. They would be showing here. We want to Go to File, because the next thing it says is to compact and repair your database. So you want to go to File, you want to compact and repair. Okay, you want to close it. And that's it. And now we want to exit. Oops, we're going to exit. And now you see where we have my new file. And so now you're ready to go back into eLearn or over to SAM and upload your new file. So that's it, my friends. Good luck, and we'll see you on Monday morning. Okay, take care. Bye.